Hello, welcome back to my channel, Healing with Kiara. I'm gonna do another reading tonight, and we're gonna look into is there another person, or is there like a third party or like a karmic involved with your person, or the person on your mind, or the person that you're dealing with? Um, yeah, see, like, is there someone else? Is there another person? Is there a third party? Any like karmic energy involved in your connection or with the person that you're interested in or the person on your mind. So, oh goodness, I'm sorry, I just got the hiccups. Hmm. Okay, so we have the Six of Pentacles in the reverse. So right away that kind of answered my question. Um, or the question of the evening. If they did have someone else that they were giving to, or that they were like giving more attention to or giving more time to, you felt like maybe they were kind of like withholding or holding back from you, or just not giving as much to you as they could, or like wasn't progressing as quickly as you felt like it could or it should in some way. So then maybe it was like making you wonder if they were like giving to someone else, or if they had someone else involved in their life, or there was someone else in the connection here. And so what I'm seeing, it's like in the past they could have been giving more to someone else or another party, but it's like they've came out of this, or they've um reversed this in some way. With the, we also have the Knight of Wands in reverse underneath that. So it's like if they were in this like player energy, if in the past, if they were more likely to make um their choices and decisions based off of just like their passions, their emotions, or how they feel uh in the moment, or just kind of being like, yeah, drawn or led by like whatever they're attracted to, or um yeah, kind of like switching up on others, or it's like always withholding back in some way so that it's easy to like move forward to the next thing. So it's like when they meet people that they really care about or they're really interested in, they feel as though they can't give as much to them. So they give to like others, that like other connections to where they know like don't matter as much. That sounds really bad, but it's like they don't um the need or the value isn't there, so it's like they feel free to just like give to that person because it doesn't really mean anything, or there's not as much like of an attachment, or the other person doesn't like necessarily appreciate it or like care that much either. It's more of like a superficial surface level. It's like easier to give to the other party in some way, but it's like now they've like come out of this or turned this around. Yeah, so it's energy of like in the past it was difficult for them to really give to or be like open up or be vulnerable to um the people that they like really really cared about, or the people that they felt like that really needed it the most. So it was easier to stay in this like superficial energy, and if you're always like kind of withholding or keeping certain things to yourself, then it's easy to then um, move forward whenever you see something else that would just be a little bit easier. It's like seeing other situations that have more capacity to give back in return. And so it's like easier to give to them. Whereas, like, the things that may be a little bit more meaningful, or that they're, yeah, it's like these other situations that they would maybe care about more or would be more meaningful. Uh, it's like that would be more work. And it's like those situations can't give back as much. So it's just like not as easy in some way. It's like they have to do more work to be connected here. So it's just like not as easy, where in the past they were like more drawn to situations where they could it's just like easier for them to get more back in return uh, to these other individuals, but and then they don't have to do as much work, right? They don't have to do as much work and put as much into it. Um, and the other people or the other person they were involved with is um, will give a lot more back in return for like very little, right? It's like easier in some way. And so even though it appears like they're giving the other situation more investment here, more time, energy, more vulnerability, is like they really don't actually have to give that much. And then they get a lot back in return. So it's easy for them. It's like less work in some way. And then it's easy to like move on to the next thing whenever they feel like the time is ready, because then they don't have like that deep of an investment. It's like easy to pull out because they're getting more than they're having to put in, right? Like it's easy in some way. Um, so there's this kind of like desperate energy with these other people. It's like, yeah, they're almost, even though they like come from a position of like appearing to have more on the surface, maybe they appear to be like more like put together or figured out like in their life in some way. There's this energy of like being willing to take whatever they can get, or being willing to take like breadcrumbs, and then giving a lot back, like being willing to give a lot back. Whereas like with you, um, you are like more of like a dedicated, like hardworking type of person. Like you put a lot more work and time and investment into your like situations or your commitments here. There's less energy of this like desperation or this like pick me. There's less with you. You're not just willing to take whatever someone will give you and then just give a lot back. It's like you want someone to actually invest in the situation and like put in like effort and care. And with you there's more of this energy of like, well, why not me? Whereas with the other person they were dealing with, there's this energy of pick me, pick me, pick me. So that's a really interesting contrast. And so now it's like before they were giving to more of like the pick me energy because that was easier, but it's like now they want to turn this around and come out of this, and it's like make different choices to give to give to you, because you had this energy of just like, okay, but why not me? Instead of just like, oh, please let it be me. You have this energy of just like, well, why not me? Like, why wouldn't you choose me and give to me in the same way you're giving to others? So it's like, you're not gonna like budge or like chase after them until you see them giving back the same amount of effort, right? Like you're only going to give as much as you're getting back. And so you're demanding like equal respect and like equal give and take. And that's something different for them. So it's like at first they were choosing to like ignore this or like look the other way. But now it's like they're making a shift here, or like there's been a switch, or like there's the tables have turned in some way, and they're like coming out of the previous energy of like giving to the other person or the other party. So we have the Empress, and this was like reverse in the deck, and then it flipped around to be upright. And then we have the Seven of Wands in reverse and the Lovers. So yeah, with the Empress, it's like before they were choosing not to like look your way, or they were choosing not to like look at you, or to um yeah, they were choosing to like turn away and like look away from you here and look at this other person that they were like breadcrumbing, or like appearing to invest more in, right? Or to give more to. So they had their like sight away from their eye, away from, they were like purposely choosing to kind of block out and like not see divine feminine, right? Like with the Empress. Um, it doesn't have to be a girl, but just like the the energy that they saw like embodied in you, they chose not to look at it, not to acknowledge it, not to um it's like they knew, like they saw you and they knew, like they were drawn to you, or they did see like your aura, or like the energy that you carried. Um, but they were just like purposely choosing to like look away from it, or like not acknowledge it, and like not see it here, because it's like, again, then they saw that it's like they would have to like level up and like match that and like give back to you and like actually take care of you or invest here. They'd have to like level up to that emperor status, and they wanted to like stay in that like Knight of Wands in reverse and just do like what was easier here, like give to people that were gonna give back to them, like regardless of how much they were giving, right? Or like kind of put up with their like withholding like type of games here. Whereas you, yeah, it's like you draw people into you, like you have this energy of like, well, why am I not good enough? Like why shouldn't I be chosen, right? You have this like level of confidence to you. It's like you carry yourself with a certain confidence or certain presence that it could be like intimidating, is something that I heard. But also it's just like, if someone is not ready to like be in their power and match that, they'll like could purposely choose not to look at it or not to see it, so that it doesn't like create like conflict within themselves, so they can just continue to like move forward and do whatever they want, even if it's like toxic for themselves here. um but yeah, it's like now this like flipped around here. So it's like now they're choosing to really see you, or they're choosing to look at um, your energy here. And um, now that they've allowed themselves to open their eyes, or to like see you here, then it's like now they're actually fully seeing the energy that you're embodying, and they're even more like drawn in or attracted to you. It's like before they were just kind of choosing not to look at you because they knew it would be like, something that would really draw them in or something they'd be really allured by. But now that they're like, um, it's like now they've seen you in a different light, or now they've seen something here that um, kind of made it to where they like chose to like stop looking away from this, or yeah, they like came out of this energy of like being purposely turned away from you. And then once they did that, like once they allowed themselves to take that like double glance or second glance in your direction, then it's like they really saw you in a different light, or like you caught their eye or their energy in some way. And it's like they see even more now. It's like before they knew that you were like really beautiful or really alluring or really handsome, or you had some sort of really like beautiful, radiant energy about your aura or something like that. Like they knew that, and that's, they were like in the back of their mind, and they were purposely trying to like not acknowledge it or like look away, right? But now that they've allowed themselves to like look at it again or take another glance here, then they are actually, um it's like even more than what they thought, or like, yeah, your energy's like even more powerful or captivating, or they're even more like drawn into you than they thought they would be in some way. And then with the Seven of Wands in reverse, it's like they're coming out of like this really defensive energy. Like before, they could have just had their guard up, been really defensive, been really closed off. And they're coming out of this here. Like they're opening up a little bit more. Like they're starting to consider the idea of opening up or being vulnerable, or like letting you in, or um, being willing to like give to you or invest. Whereas before they may have just like totally shut out the idea. They didn't even want to like look in your direction or acknowledge it in some way. They just like totally had their guard up. And now it's like they're um starting to come out of this energy and be more willing to like open up and be vulnerable, right? um and then with the Lovers, it's again, it's like making different choices, right? So it's like, in the past, they were, purposely choosing to look away from something about this here, and to look into directions and to give and invest in towards directions that were just like a little bit easier. And so now with the Lovers, it's like wanting to make different choices, wanting to make healthier choices, and wanting to make choices that lead them closer towards like the divine feminine, or like towards the Empress, right? Like being able to be more open here, and um yeah, wanting to like give back to the relationship or the connection just as much as they're receiving, right? Like just make healthier choices all around that benefit the overall, just like integrity of the relationship, right? Not wanting to make the same choices they did in the past of like purposely giving to people that they felt like would be just like a little bit more easy. It's like I'm also hearing is like wanting to have more control over like their sexual desires, or uh yeah, that like in I guess that overpowering intensity. It's like wanting to have more control over that rather than that controlling them in their choices, and not just wanting to choose things that are like easier, right? Because they're being led by their desires in some way, like they're overly being led by their passions, and the way they feel in the moment, like sexually. They just want to like make healthier choices all around so that they can actually properly give to you or to this in some way, and it be like fair, right? To have like integrity about it, like I said before. Yeah, not just like running with their desires and making decisions that end up like hurting others based off of like fulfilling their like urges in the moment, right? Um, and then it's also like it's like they've lowered their guard to realize with the Seven of Wands in reverse, it's like before they could have been kind of defensive to or closed off to not open to looking at how like certain choices that they've made in relationships in the past were kind of putting them in like a negative position here. It's like what they were doing to others was mirroring back in their life, and it was putting them in like a position of lack or less than. And so now it's like they're lowering their ego or lowering their guard in some way and being able to see that it's like because of their own choices here that it's like led them away from being able to connect with like someone that they're really attracted to or really drawn to here. So now they want to like make a change and like make healthier, better choices for themselves and the connection overall. Um, yeah, give to others in a more healthy way and like for the right choices or for the right reasons, right? And not because you're being like avoidant or playing some sort of weird game or purposely being withholding for some reason. It's like maybe at some point in their life, like in the past, they actually kind of enjoyed this. Like they enjoyed like watching someone squirm whenever they like purposely ignored them or like didn't give their energy or attention to them in some way or didn't invest in them in some way when that person expected them to. But now it's like they don't enjoy this anymore. Like their ego, like they don't really get off on it in the same way, like they feel bad here. So it's like something about you, like with the Empress, how the Empress like flipped around, it's like they seen something in you here, something about you has um you've shown them some sort of like vulnerability or softness or something real about yourself that's like hit some sort of spark or some sort of nerve within them to kind of make them realize um, they don't need to act like this or they don't need to be like withholding like this in some way when it comes to things that they really care about. Like they don't need to like purposely give more to things that are like easier in order to have the upper hand or something. It's like, and having their guard up and not being willing to be vulnerable isn't actually like a strength. It's like coming out of their egos need to like protect themselves. And it's like keeping them stuck in like toxic relationships here and preventing them from being able to make the choices that they need to actually draw in the partners that they're drawn to and that they're attracted to and that they feel compatible with and like actually see themselves being in like a functional relationship with. um so yeah, they're currently like reevaluating the way that they like give and take and exchange with others in their relationships and how they like invest emotionally in their time and also like financially in a way, right? Like how you like give to others. um We have healer, the bottom. Ooh, courage. And nature spirits. So I'm gonna, whew, oh my goodness. I'm gonna read those for you. Okay. You are a healer. Fear not your own ability to be a light worker or a way shower for others. Drawing this card can also symbolize that a healing in its highest form is available to you now. If you have pulled this card in regard to a relationship or situation, please know that there is a powerful exchange of energy here. Meditate when you are wanting to heal on the physical, mental, emotional, or spiritual plane. The elements, fairies, divas, and other nature spirits request your presence. It is time to venture outside, get into nature, and recharge your batteries with the trees, the grass, the mountains, the desert, and the sea. There is magic that awaits you when you commune with nature. You are being invited to summon your courage and take the next right action. Drawing this card can be nudging you to let go of any fears you are having and boldly move ahead. This is your moment to seize the day, live your dreams, and step forward with confidence. You can meditate on this symbol and mantra whenever you need a boost of encouragement. Radiant Goddess, you are an amazing goddess ready to fully understand how significant you are. Tap into your power by owning your beauty and potential by not making any apologies for it. So, yeah, your energy is like definitely radiating, and that really draws others in and rubs off on them and like helps them in their lives, right? So it's such a positive, beautiful, wonderful thing. Past life karma cycles. This indicates a past life is the reason why the intense energy surrounds you, the person or situation. Look into ways to clear past life karma and see the bigger picture of the less situation by viewing it from a lesson perspective. Taking ownership for your part and forgiveness are key in releasing past life karma. That makes a lot of sense that that card came out. I feel like I really butchered it when I was reading it, so I'm going to read it again. Past life karma cycles. This indicates a past life is the reason why the intense energy surrounds you, the person or situation. Look into ways to clear past life karma and see the bigger picture of the situation by viewing it from a lesson perspective. Taking ownership for your part and forgiveness are key in releasing past life karma. So yeah, this is like the past life could just be like in the past, your person reacted really differently to you, or yeah, like this could all be happening and playing out as a result of the dynamics that you guys had together in a past life, and so you chose to come back into this life and work through that by re-experiencing it for a little bit, like in the beginning of your connection, in order to trigger both of you spiritually to grow, in order to come back together and heal and clear out the karma from the past, right? Something I'm hearing. So I'm gonna get one piece here. Ooh, we have toxic in reverse. So yeah, like it's so funny because while I was shuffling that, I was thinking about the part, like the message I picked up on where it was like in the past they kind of got a kick out of like looking the other way, or they kind of got, like how I was saying, they kind of got a kick out of like purposely being withholding towards people that were kind of like expecting them to give to them or invest in them or pursue them in some way. Like, um, so yeah, maybe they did give a little bit, right? They showed a little bit of interest or a little bit of investment, or they made a little bit of move in some way, right? Um, they would like drop in some way and like give a little bit of interest. And so then you would be really interested in thinking that they were going to give more, or like more was going to happen, or more was going to progress in some way, and then they would just like completely look the other way, shut you out, ignore you, and then like give more to someone else. And it was like really confusing to you, but that was like a part of their own um thing they were going through. Like I think I kind of like explained the whole dynamic of it more like before in the reading. So it's like, yeah, in the past they kind of thought this was funny, or they kind of got a kick out of this in some way of like purposely being withholding to certain people. Like it made them kind of like smirk, or just they got like a little bit of satisfaction from that for some reason. And now it's like they don't think that this is funny. It's like now they see it for what it is. Like they see that that was like toxic or hurtful. And so it's like they're kind of coming out of this here, like, or they're seeing how poisonous that was, like how much damage that did. Like they're realizing that may have made them feel like empowered somewhat, or may have made their ego feel empowered somewhat in that moment, but it was actually like damaging them and hurting, it's like hurting the other person, but it's also hurting you, right? But it's also damaging and hurting them in the long run, because then it's like, you know, they're making those choices for themselves that put them further away from being able to pursue the thing that they're really attracted to or really drawn to, or that they really want to be able to pursue. So then they realize, like, in the long run, it's actually, these types of behaviors or these types of games are actually just um, hurting them. It's like they're actually just poisoning themselves. Their intention is to, um, this sounds bad, but it's like their intention is to like maybe hurt you or like play a game with you, but then they actually end up playing themselves, like hurting themselves. They actually end up poisoning themselves in some way. It's like whatever type of like weird energy they're trying to put off on another person when they play that game actually ends up coming back on them, and then they end up feeling left out and lonely and isolated, because then whoever that they're playing that game with just ends up like moving on eventually, right? And so then they are the ones that end up losing out in the long run. And it's like, so they're realizing that now. They're realizing like how toxic this was, or how much damage this did to them. Like investing into things like this or going on living their life like this. It was just like really hurting them or damaging their ability to like process things out and like heal. Just like when you drink a lot, it like affects your liver, and your liver is like what processes out toxins, right? So it's like whatever they've done here has like done like damage on their ability to like spiritually process out like the toxins in like they've taken in so much of this like type of energy here, this type of games, this type of interaction, that it's actually damaged something within them spiritually, their ability to filter out and process like the toxicity of the situations they're taking in around them. So it's like actually harmed them like on an energetic level as well as an emotional level by just ending up kind of leaving themselves out in the cold in some way, right? Ooh, and we have kick to the curb in the reverse. So the first thing I'm getting is like they want to like if they feel like you just kind of like moved on or like you're just like moving forward and you don't really care anymore, like I was picking up on before, it's like they end up being the ones that like lose out or miss out in the end, because then um you just like will eventually move forward, or the person that they're playing those games with will just eventually move on with their life and they just end up being the ones to lose. So it's like they want to come out of this, like they don't want to be on the outside like missing out anymore, for one, and then also for two, if they kind of like shut you out or kicked you to the curb in some way, or like made it clear that they like weren't going to invest in you the way that you needed to, and they were going to like give more to others, um they made you feel just like left out in some way. It's like they want to come out of this. It's like they want to reconnect, like however it fits. Like if um, they feel kicked to the curb because you finally moved on, or if they actually like kicked you to the curb in some way, and so now they feel like, oh no, like um, they really might go this time, or like they really might move forward this time, and then I'll just like totally lose my chance, is something I just heard. Let's get one of these cards here. You excite me sexually and I still desire you. That's the bottom of the deck. I am awakening to the importance of our connection. So, yeah, something about your energy here. It's like they did a double take here. They did a second look into this. For some reason, they had been like purposely shutting it out or refusing to really look at it here. But they, something about you like drew them in here, and they decided to do like a double take, and uh they realized something here. They had all of, yeah, you caused some sort of, you hit some sort of spark or some sort of nerve within them, like I said before, and it led to this like sudden shift mentally in perspective or in understanding here, and now they're like, oh my gosh, um now I have to like turn something around here. Now I have to fix something here in some way, right? Let me get one love oracle here. Express love through gifts. Giving a small token to someone expresses your love to them. So this person could be thinking about, that could be one way they're thinking about turning this around, is thinking about how they could give some sort of gift or some sort of offer to you here. It's also like receiving, since giving is some people's love language, like receiving gifts is also like a love language thing. Like being open to receive gifts from others can be an act of like um, showing them how much you love them or how much they mean to you. So yeah, it's like being open to seeing like how they want to change things or present things a little bit differently moving forward. There's also like he's literally holding this like pearl, or yeah, it's like this giant like pearl or oracle or something here. Um, so what I'm getting from this is it's like this is something that they, whatever they want to give to you or offer to you here, it's like this is something that they have been holding on to or has been like deep down within them for a really long time here, but it's like they were just kind of like sheltering it or like preserving it or keeping it safe here, because it's like they were in such an ego struggle, in such a like personal struggle within themselves. So it's like they buried something deep within them here, like, or like deep under the water, like yeah. um but now it's like they want to like go within, discover this within themselves, or like uncover this and be brave enough to bring it forward and like be vulnerable and offer this and present this to you here. Whereas in the past, soon as they met you, um, you like triggered something within them, and so they felt like they had to like they really cared about you. They were really drawn towards you. They felt like you were really special, and so they felt like they had to like bury this deep down and just like hide this and not acknowledge it. And so then inevitably that resulted in them treating you the way that they did, which is being like super withholding, really holding back here, and like then going and giving more to others purposely, other situations that are like easier for them, right? It's like acting really toxic here, but it's just they were just like harming themselves through this process, right? Um, but the way that they originally felt for you, or this spark, this initial um, feeling that was initially triggered within them when they first came into contact with you or met you in some way, that was still there, right? It was still there, like buried deep down here. And then yeah, so it's like for some reason, it's like because they really cared about you and they were so drawn towards you and attracted to you, it's like they purposely shoved it down or like buried it down so it was like inaccessible. So But yeah, it's something about like it's because okay, yeah, it's like because they really cared about you here, like okay, it's like right when they met you, it's like the way that they cared about you, they had like the most special feelings or the most vulnerable emotions to present to you or to offer to you, and this just felt like too much to give away, and so they had to just like protect this here and like bury this down and yeah, like shut this part out of themselves, like away from themselves in some way. And so yeah, then they just moved forward and like gave to other people that were easier. It's like they gave to other people where they didn't have to offer all of this here. They could just like breadcrumb them or give to them in certain ways. And then those people are in this kind of like desperation energy. And so then those people will just like take whatever they can get and like give like everything they can back, right? And so it was just like easier for them and they didn't have to access this more vulnerable part of themselves. Whereas you like really triggered, it's like bringing up all of this stuff to the surface that they had kind of like shoved down and like weren't ready to like go retrieve and acknowledge and deal with. Um, so yeah, it's like easier to give to someone else or to others in some way, because it's like for you, as soon as they met you, it's like the way that they cared about you, you just really triggered something really special within them here. It's like they weren't ready to give this away or to offer this to another person. It was like the most special, vulnerable thing that they had or the most special, vulnerable part of themselves in some ways. Like they weren't ready to give this away yet. So when they met you, it's like they cared about you too much. Like they couldn't just like give to you. Also because of the like the energy and like the self respect or just something about the way that you carry yourself. It's like makes it clear that you're not going to just take whatever you can get. Like they're going to have to actually present you with something real or offer you something solid in order for you to like give back or give your attention back to them in some way. Um, but now it's like they chose to first there's something about you that really drew them in to like kind of do a double take here, like I was saying, and take a second look at things. And it's like now they're really triggered here, and it's like they really want to like turn things around and come forward and be able to offer you something, show you something, present you some like part of themselves here. It's like they're really, really drawn towards you, and they see you as this really just like gentle, wholesome, like divine feminine energy here. So it's like they feel like it's safe to give this away or to share this or be vulnerable with this and this part of themselves in some way now. It's like they're seeing you and the situation in a different light. And so they feel like it's actually the right thing or the strong thing or the brave thing to like access these hidden more meaningful parts of themselves and like share it here. It's like they don't want to be like defensive and have their guard up anymore. They want to make choices that lead them closer to the things that they want or that they're drawn to, that they're truly attracted to. It's like make choices that lead them closer towards the life that that they actually really want to be living, right? Or like be surrounded by the connections that they actually feel like drawn to and that they like belong in, right? Um, treasure your loved ones. It is important to love others deeply. So I feel like they're realizing this, just like I was just saying. They want to make choices that uh, uh, create a space for them to have like healthy, successful relationships, right? They're realizing the value and the importance. It's like before, the types of choices that they were making were leading them away from, they may have been protecting themselves or protecting their ego in some way, but it's like those, the way that the choices that they're making, the way that they were acting in the past was actually leading them further away from the things that they actually desire, the life that they actually desire, the things that they're actually drawn to, the things that they're actually attracted to, right? It's like it was actually leading them away from being able to give to that or connect to that. And so now they're like having this awakening, right? And they're realizing that um, being connected to the people that we feel the most drawn to, or the people that we feel those like soul type of connections with, um, that is like more important than like protecting or preserving their ego, right? Like being able to live the type of life that we want to live and have the type of connections with others that we want to have, being like emotionally fulfilled, having others to like lean on and uplift us is just like more important, right? Yeah, it's important to love others deeply so that you can receive deep love as well. Like that's a lot more emotionally fulfilling than playing these games or like going for things that are just like easier and just like willing to take whatever they can get and will just like give back to you no matter what, right? It's like um there's not as much of like a deep, meaningful, like loving connection with that. So it's like they want to come out of that and like no longer give to that, and they want to find a way to be able to give, and make choices that reflect the things that they want, the life that they want to have, like I was saying, right? um so yeah, they've had this awakening here to, one, it's like how deeply they really feel for you, or how much they're really drawn to or attracted to you in some way. But then also, two, just that it's how much more important it is and how much more fulfilling it is at the end of the day to have like a healthy, stable, well connected, and committed relationship, rather than having these like surface level flings or like um energetic like games with people. It's like you may feel more in control of those situations or safer, but you're not as like emotionally fulfilled, or you're not as happy in some way, whereas like um yeah, they're awakening to realize like the type of spiritual connection, oh, the type of spiritual connection that you guys share from whatever you've experienced, like in your guys' past, is a lot more beneficial, or adds a lot more value to their growth and their experience, moving forward here in this life, right? So it's more important to focus on these types of connections, and to focus on like the real genuine love, in order to like be your best self and to like grow, go in the direction that you're supposed to, or that you came here to do, right? um yeah, I think that's all I have for tonight. Thank you so much if you watched this far into the reading. I really appreciate it. And if you wanted to get a more personal reading with me, you can click the link in my description. And yeah, I hope you have a really great night. Thank you.